Welcome to another episode of Inspired Content. This is the month before National Novel Writing Month, so I'm doing 5 episodes each week for different categories. And this week we're into the movies and television. And I'm kind of excited about the first episode for the week. There'll be 5 episodes this week. I'm excited because I found an old VHS tape of Star Wars animated classics, Ewoks: The Haunted Village. So I'm kind of excited to see what this is like. I know it's not meant for my age group, but we'll see what I think about it. So I'll take a look at it, and I'll see you on the other side. Alright, so Star Wars Ewoks, the animated classic. Yeah, I guess after looking up a little bit more information on this, there are 2 seasons of an animated series, and these are 4 of the episodes of one of those seasons, sort of out of sequence with the way they were put out. I know it's for children, and I know it was an early morning television program, but I'd forgotten that in the 80s, the writers of children's cartoons didn't feel that stuff had to be logical or make sense. That, children were clearly too stupid to realize that things didn't work that way. I think there was maybe a better way to do some of the storylines, and it's like glaring plot holes and a lot of hand-wavium thrown in there to get rid of logical, simple ways of escaping problems. Just overly complicate them so that you can throw in, shoehorn in things that let you preach the message that you're trying to do in that episode. Because there is a fair amount of that. There's a lot of the, Boy Who Cried Wolf, morals to the story kind of episodes. But, having said that, I'm here to see what I can mine out of this. I should probably say that if I'm going to rate it, it's going to be like a 4.5 out of a 6.2. I can't imagine watching a lot more of these. I mean, maybe just for completeness and because you're a Star Wars fan, you might want to watch the whole thing, but it's kind of like, yeah, I felt like I should probably watch the holiday special too, and I have. Now that I've done it, I can say I've done it, but it's not like I really want to ever go through that again. But, yeah, the ideas that I got from this... Yes, it's gonna sound weird if you've never seen this, but okay. Giant intelligent creature is killed by some evil character, and the materials of its body, its skin is turned into leather, its bones turned into tools, and so on and so forth, and sold to the main characters. And the thing is that the intelligent alien creature is the child of others, and those creatures come along and fight, declare war, whatever, attack the main characters because they can smell that they're using the corpse of their child as tools and equipment, and the characters are really none the wiser as to what's going on. A little dark, sorry. Fairies as creatures that grow and foster plant life. Yeah. You must be wondering at this point why fairies and giants are involved. Well, that's because that's what's in this cartoon. Yes, I said it. Yep, anyway, so fairies as figures corrupted like the elves from Tolkien. So basically what I was looking at is they have in this story fairies. They call them something else, but they're essentially fairies, and the evil queen catches one and corrupts her and turns her into a fire fairy that's burning down the dry forest. I got to thinking that if you were to take something like fairies as representations of flora and fauna of the forest, and you corrupted them like Tolkien did the elves, could you end up with some sort of twisted alien forest growing within the existing forest? And what would that look like? Would it be carnivorous plants and things, tentacles of like octopus instead of snails, free roaming as if they were living creatures? Just sort of like a horror show, nightmare realm forest. The theft of medicinal plants from a community of characters by an enemy or an other of some kind is fought against, and the plants are protected as if it's a plot to destroy the community, but then to reveal later maybe the idea that it was a group of people in desperate need of those medicinal plants, and by denying them access to them, they're suffering and dying in large numbers. So just the idea of like seeing something as a theft and an affront to your community, only to find out later it was a cry for help and a move of desperation that you've prevented from helping them. A forest fire and its effects on a community of dryads. In the Ewoks episode, it's, I guess, every Ewok, when they're born, they plant a tree in their name. It's like their birth tree or something, a name tree, their life tree, something like that effect. And so I got to thinking about the idea of what if creatures who are actually bonded to their trees had to confront the fact that there was a devastating fire sweeping through their forest, and what does it do to the people? Are they left like hollow shadows of themselves without the entirety of their tree remaining? This one comes from the idea in here that the main villain is a witch who had access to a stone with both the powers of good and the powers of evil bound together to empower her to do anything she wanted. And they split the stone and took away the good portion of the stone. And there's a part of me feeling like perhaps the reason the witch is evil is because you've denied her access to the power of good. And it makes the villain villainous because the actions of the hero are less than heroic. They basically trap a person into the only power they have to control their lives or do the things they need to do is by tapping into evil. And it's done that way because the good character stole the opportunity to use the power of good from somebody else. This one's kind of funny because the first story in here was invisibility soap, which it's silly and it's funny, but it has me thinking of writing like a children's story where some mad scientist creates bars of soap to empower people with abilities, and somehow that magic soap gets dropped out into the world in some way, and people have the ability to, children have the ability to become heroes and whatnot by using a bar of soap to empower themselves to do good things. I think that would be kind of an amusing and fun way to write a children's story. Well, it's not much to work with, but those are the ideas I got from this. Hopefully there's some inspiration for some fun stories in there. Alright, see you for the next episode.